Well, folks, spring is here, the gardens are growing, the flowers are out, and there's perfume in the air. And you know what that means, Daz? The gardens are going to need more water, and I hear you're a bit of a pro at this type of thing.
Well, I don't know who's told you that, Nige, but we do need to have a good irrigation system. We need one that's efficient and effective. And what we're going to do this series, we're going to take an old system that's not ticking any of those boxes, put in a brand new one from Hunter Industries. It will be absolutely elite.
A landscape garden can add thousands of dollars of value to your home, so it makes sense that you do everything to keep it looking its best. This garden is looking great, but the irrigation needs a major overhaul, and there are a few vital steps to take before we start replacing any components.
So Nige, the first thing we need to do here is a full system audit. Have a look and see what's not working well. Look for the things we can improve on. Make this system just a little bit better.
Beautiful. So we'll check the sprayers, check the controller. Really important. In fact, folks, you should be checking your irrigation system regularly. Check for any breakages to sprayers. Make sure that the water's getting where it's meant to get. Now here's a classic example of a faulty sprayer. It could be blocked or damaged, and that's why it's important to do regular inspections of your irrigation system, because as you can see, there's no water getting onto this part of the garden, and after a few days, it'll really suffer. Next, walk around your garden and count how many sprinklers and types you have to create a shopping list for the new gear. Daz, have a look at this old dinosaur, mate. It's even older than you are.
It is a shocker, Nige, and that so's that joke. It's terrible. It's the worst control I've ever used in my life. It's hard to use. It's hard to program. The homeowners never use it because it's so difficult to use. It's just terrible.
Okay, well, obviously we're going to replace it.
Oh, absolutely. We're going to put a brand spanking new Hunter Hydrowise Wi-Fi controller, really easy to use app, and it'll just make managing your reticulation system so much easier.
Daz, this is quite the setup you've got here. I take it we're doing a flow test?
Yeah, so we want to find out how many litres per minute we have at operating pressure. Very important information, Nige.
Absolutely, mate. And you're going straight off the main.
Straight off the mains, because our system is connected to the main, so we want to get a really accurate measure. So we know how many sprinklers we can run at once and how many stations we need.
Okay, do you want me to time?
You can, you ready?
Yep.
Rightio, Nige, go. And stop.
Mate, it's a new world record, 9.84.
Now I'll do
pretty good.
a little bit of calculations, we'll know how much water we've got, and then we can design the system.
Okay. Another way you at home can get a flow rate is to time how long it takes to fill your 9-litre watering can or bucket. Open up the garden tap completely and time how long it takes. So Daz, I'm starting on a sketch for the design. If I do the lawn, the garden beds around here, then we'll measure up together?
Yeah, well, that's the plan, Nige. We'll get in, we'll measure everything up so we can get our sketch nice and accurate so we know what the spacings need to be on the sprinklers. You know, we can work all that out. Then we'll take our flow rate measure that we did previously. Then we can work out how many sprinklers can go on each zone, working with the type of nozzles and pop-up bodies that we want to use. It's really important to get all this information absolutely spot on, so we get really nice, even coverage in the garden.
Lovely, mate. Well, I go on the dummy end.
Absolutely, you're going on the dummy.
I thought so. As you measure, make sure you flag each sprinkler position and mark down all measurements on your sketch. So, Daz, we've got all our flags out and we've got 7 pop-ups on the one zone. I think that's quite a lot.
Oh, Nige, we can run 7 easy. We did a flow test, so we know exactly what we can do. My preferred nozzle for the lawns is the MP2000, so that will work absolutely perfect. With the water we have available at the operating pressure, we'll get nice head-to-head coverage, nice even coverage on the lawn so we don't get dry patches and dark patches.
So, Daz, we've got quite a few nozzles and it's really important that they spray from one to the other, isn't it, to get the good coverage?
Yeah, absolutely. Head-to-head coverage, really important. That's irrigation 101, head-to-head coverage, even watering, even precipitation rate, can't go wrong.
beautiful lawn. Now, if some of this sounds confusing, do your sketch, make sure you get your measurements accurate, and you can take that down to your hunter dealer and they'll give you all the advice, tell you exactly what to use. That covers the back lawn. Now onto the garden beds. Mate, what's this you got here? That's sensational.
Work of art, Nigel. 300mm pop-up. Riser comes out beautifully out of the body. Get rid of all those horrible rigid risers that's sticking up out of the ground. You know, people trip over them, they get vandalised, they just look awful.
Yeah, they're ugly.
These will sit in the ground, just above ground level. Riser comes up out of the body and will get the water beautifully into the gardens.
And over here, we're going drip, aren't we?
Absolutely, yeah. We've got the succulents to worry about. We don't want to be putting lots of water over the foliage of those. And the rest of the garden's really densely planted, so getting water through that foliage is quite difficult. Drip line will sit on the surface, deliver the water right to the root run of the plants, exactly where we want it.
That's nice, mate. I love the way you say it. Daz, there's a couple of ways you can go about installing an irrigation system. You can use someone like yourself, or what are the other options?
Well, as you said, Nigel, you can either get a professional irrigation installer come and do the job for you, which I think is ideal, because that's how I make my money, or you can have a go at doing it yourself. And it is something that DIY can try. You can get on the Hunter website, have a look at all the resources they've got on there to help you plan your system, or you go to your local irrigation specialist store and ask them for help, and they'll be more than willing to draw you up a plan, give you advice about what's the best components to use to help you install a really good system.
Tell us a bit about this one. I mean, it looks pretty space-aged.
Well, Nigel, this is actually my favourite controller. So it's a Hunter HPC. This is a 4-station controller, but you can upgrade it to a 13-station if required. Fantastic controller in that it connects to the home Wi-Fi. So, you know, the old days where you'd stand at the controller and I'd yell out here to turn on station 4, you'd turn on station 3, then we'd have an argument about it. Now I just stand there with my phone. I don't need you, Nigel.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's good that you said that, because quite frankly, I didn't need you either. It's incredible, really, with the technology, just how much these controllers can do. I mean, aside from being wired to the valves and telling them to open and close at different times, they've got connections to the local weather station and all of that stuff, haven't they?
Yeah, definitely. So you connect to the Wi-Fi, then the controller can connect to the internet, can data harvest from all your local weather stations, get information on temperature, rainfall, wind speed, evaporation rate, and then automatically adjust the run time for all your stations on the controller, on the system, so you don't have to do it. You don't have to go into the garage in the dark, fumble around with some dodgy old rubber buttons and change the system yourself. It does it for you absolutely automatically. It's fantastic.
So Daz, the controller's in, and now really it's the moment of truth, isn't it? And you can run it all from the app?
Got the app set up, the controller's in, it's all wired up. Let's see what happens.
Oh, look at that. Mate, you really are the irrigation pro, aren't you?
Absolutely no reason to doubt me. I told you, Nigel, it'll all be good.
And what's next, mate?
Well, what's next? I've got a set of L plates for you and a trenching shovel, so you can jump in, start digging some of these up. We're going to change over all the bodies, all the nozzles. We're going to completely renovate this retic system. You better get a good night's sleep.
All right, Dazza, so we're doing the lawn irrigation retrofit today, aren't we?
Absolutely, Nigel. We're going to dig up all these old dodgy sprinklers, put in some really high-quality Hunter pop-up bodies with our MP rotators. It'll be absolutely fantastic.
Oh, beautiful. Have a little bit of digging. Give us the shovel then,
Run
mate.
shovel, mate. This is your shovel.
What? What? Hey, mate, come on.
I'll send you on the shovel. You definitely need L plates.
Come on. I just want to say, though, man, I love what you're doing with your hair there, mate. The colour is just sensational.
We must go to the same salon.
Oh, yeah.
Well, Nigel's managed to dig out one of the sprinklers, but now he's had to go and have a bit of a lie down because he's really not used to using a shovel. So I'm going to swap out these old, dodgy, not working very well sprinklers and replace them with these fantastic Hunter 100mm pop-up bodies on Arctic risers. Arctic risers are the best way to go with your lawn sprinklers because they're far less likely to get broken and they make it really easy to get the height and the location of the sprinkler absolutely spot on. To install, first we measure where the new riser will go. Then we cut the old pipe, clean the cut and apply primer to the joint. Glue both joints and attach the PVC elbow. One down, another 40 to go, and there's a fair chance I'll be doing them all on my own. Well, that's the last one on the verge done. They've all swapped out. All I have to do now is flush them out and install the nozzles. I'll go and wake Nigel and see if he wants to give me a hand. Nigel, wake up!
Oh, God.
Already finished, mate.
Oh, sorry, mate, I must have drifted off.
It's important to flush your system to remove any dirt and debris before installing the nozzles.
Daz, these MP rotators really are revolutionary. They'd have to be one of your favourites. They're certainly one of mine. I mean, I was just dreaming about them.
Oh, I'm glad you had a good rest, Nigel. I'm very pleased about that. So I've started flushing the sprinklers out. They're just about ready to have the nozzles in. Really great sprinkler nozzles. So they're adjustable arc. We can adjust them from 90 degrees up to 210. We can pull the arc back from 3.5 metres to 2.8, so very flexible. Put the water out really slowly so it gets a chance to soak into your lawn. A really fantastic nozzle, perfect for this verge lawn.
Oh, look at that, mate. It's like the Bellagio fountain show in Vegas.
I don't know about anything that you got up to in Vegas, ain't you, Nigel?
It was a good trip. I tell you what, mate, we've earned our money today, haven't we, putting these in?
I have.
You have indeed.
You had a sleep.
Fully adjustable?
Fully adjustable, arc and radius, easy to do. Even get a special tool for it. You can have that.
Oh, well, thanks, mate. So, Daz, I've got one of these irrigation valves here, and it's basically like an electronic tap, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely, Nigel. That's a very good way of describing it. So they have the electronic coil on the top, and the wires feed back to the controller, and that's how the controller communicates with the valves to open and close as you're opening whichever station you want to operate.
Perfect. And we're going to use this today, aren't we?
We have. We've got a valve that's here that's not working properly. It's sticking open, which is not a good thing. So we're going to cut that one out, take the old one away, put that brand new Hunter valve in there.
Oh, beautiful. I love a good valve.
So changing the valve over is a simple process of finding the valve, digging around and clearing it, giving yourself plenty of working room.
You see, that's definitely seen better days, that valve, hasn't it?
Yeah, it has, Nigel. It's been in here a while now and it's just got beyond its useful life. Can you pass me the hacksaw blade, mate?
Yeah. Do you want the blade only or the whole thing?
Just the blade, mate. Just the blade. I was pretty specific about that.
Yeah.
So I'll cut that back and then we can chop the rest of this old valve out and that can go in the bin.
Primer.
Primer, beautiful, red, yeah. So the valve, you haven't put the valve sockets in the valve yet, Nigel.
Right, mate, all right. Want me to put the sockets in?
Yeah, I wanted you to put them in 15 minutes ago, but now it's good too.
Yeah, well, that's all right, mate. There we go. Oh, there we go.
Lovely. That's right, we're in a rush. Thank you, that's good.
Yeah.
I'll need the green glue next, Nigel.
Glue. Well, I've seen how cranky you get. Didn't think you'd be paying much.
And then that goes, we push that on. Now it's time to cut the wires and you join them with a heat shrink or waterproof joiner. That way the wires won't corrode and break. And there you go, all done. New valve ready to go. So Nigel, this is where that red cable that I connected the valve up to, there it is.
Oh, that's like magic, isn't it?
So I'll put this into one of the station ports, close her up. Now we can go and test it. So I've got the app up, Nige. Now for the moment of truth. Got the right station, press start, then wait.
Oh.
Too easy. Oh, never in doubt.
Mate, that's been an absolute pleasure.
I've never changed a valve as well as what we did with that one with your help. Thank you, Nigel.
Well, Daz, we're nearly there with the new Hunter irrigation system. I'll tell you what, I'm excited because today we're programming.
Absolutely, Nigel. And we're not going to have to go to the new controller. We're not going to have to stand in the garage with all the spiderwebs and the dust. We'll do it on the app. We can program the run times, the days of the week, everything.
The beauty of programming is that it gives you the flexibility to finely tune the watering for each individual zone. The different lawn areas and garden beds full of plants with varying water requirements.
So the very first thing we'll do, Nigel, I've gone through and named all the zones, so they've got a name so the homeowner will be able to find them very easily. First thing is the run times for each station. So we've got the first station here and we press the icon that allows us to edit.
Yep.
Go in there, we've got all that detail, and then we can go through and put in the run time. So currently it comes through as 0, so we'll add the run time in there to suit the types of plants we have and the types of sprinklers we're using. Next thing we need to do is we've got to set a program run time, so when we want the program to start.
What do you reckon, 3 a.m?
Yeah, so we'll whack it back to 3 a.m, easy done. Then we'll select the days of the week that it'll water.
And that's done.
That's done.
So, Daz, would you have the lawn and the gardens on different programs?
Well, we can do different programs, so we can have a program just for the lawns or we can have a program just for the gardens. They're really adaptable and really flexible. You can set it up however it suits you and your lifestyle.
It's beautiful. And I see here a seasonal adjustment setting in there.
Yeah, so we can actually go through and block out months of the year. So here, where I work, we're not allowed to run our sprinklers in winter, so we can go through and just put June, July and August as no watering. You can set all those things up very easily from the app in advance.
And if it's going to rain for a few days, it'll talk to the weather station and shut the system down, won't it?
Yes, it will. And even if you have things like really low evaporation rates, low wind speed, low sunshine, it'll reduce the runtime.
It's very clever.
It's very clever. It's cleverer than you and me.
Oh, that's not hard.
All the information that you've inputted on your phone via the app will make its way to your control panel. So if you go to the control panel and it looks like this, you're ready to rock and roll.
All right, Daz, take it away, mate.
One press of the button, Nige.
Tell you what I love. These.
300mm pop-up bodies.
Mate, they are a work of art.
Well, they're elite. When you compare them to having those horrible risers sticking up in the ground that everyone trips over and breaks, having these pop up when the water comes on and then pop down when the water goes off. I knew you'd like those, Nige.
You've excelled yourself, mate.
Thanks.
He's gone above and beyond. He really has. G'day, Daz.
Oh, it's you, Nigel. Good to see you.
You too, mate. Putting the last one in?
Last one in, all done.
Fabulous. You know, it's true, isn't it, that some people put these systems in, they spend the money, and then they just assume that they're working perfectly without doing any checking, and that's a big mistake.
That's a massive mistake. One of the biggest mistakes people make ever. You must maintain your irrigation system. Same as your car, same as your house. They need regular maintenance. Regular maintenance of your irrigation system ensures it's working effectively and efficiently, and the water is getting where it's meant to be and not being wasted. The first thing to do is check that all your zones are running smoothly. It's as easy as opening the app, turning the zone on, and making sure each zone is firing correctly.
Now, Des, how do you normally go about lifting these things? I find I can't get my nails under there.
Get your hand out of the way.
Secchies are the winner, aren't they? Oh,
Pop
yeah,
them up.
look at that.
If you've got an issue, unscrew them, quickly clean the filter, whack it straight back on. Job done. Don't touch my secchies. Don't touch my secchies.
It's going to knock them off.
The MP rotators are available in a range of specialty nozzles that make irrigating garden beds with awkward shapes and sizes so easy. If there's no obvious leaks or issues, your system is good to go.
So, Daz, I reckon everything's looking pretty good there, mate. A couple of tweaks on the nozzles, and what do you reckon? Once a season?
Yeah, once a season's ideal. Get out there, just run around, make sure all the sprinklers are working well, and that big check coming out of winter before you get into the warm weather. And I like to do a pre-Christmas break check as well, because you don't want to have to worry about the irrigation system over the Christmas break.
Not at all, mate. You've got too much on your plate.
And too much in
in
your
your
guts.
guts. Now, this all started with an audit of the original system, which was over 10 years old and well in need of an upgrade. Design was a crucial step in ensuring we got the best results out of our new system. Then we replaced the brains of the whole system with the latest controller from Hunter Industries. After replacing all of the pop-up bodies and nozzles with the MP rotators, things were really starting to take shape, and Daz and I were getting very excited. In fact, I was so excited, I had to have a lie down. We discovered a faulty valve that needed replacing to make sure this system wouldn't be running into any problems. Wrapping our head around programming and scheduling was a breeze with Hunter's incredible technology and the Waterwise app. So Daz, everything's up and running now, the system's in, it's a nice install, and what's next for the homeowners? What should they be doing?
There's not much for them to worry about, Nige. They need to turn the system off in winter, that's important. We don't want to waste water. But other than that, it's, you know, that seasonal check that we've talked about before. Go around, have a look at every now and then, make sure the system's still working properly, there's no damage. They do have a dog, so there could be a little bit of the diggy, chewy. That
Gotta watch that.
does upset the irrigation system. But other than that, that's all they really need to do. Maybe cut the grass away from the sprinklers in the lawn, trim back some of the shrubs in the garden sprinklers. It's pretty easy.
Yeah, it's straightforward stuff, folks.
The flexibility in the setup of this system is a key component to getting the best out of all areas of your garden, no matter the specific watering requirements.